Alright, so in this clip we'll talk about the vortex field. Well, vortex field can create an effect of a tornado or a whirlpool effect in which particles will rotate around the specified line of an axis, and they will keep rotating around that axis. Alright, so let's do one thing. Let's create some simple particle effects and then we apply the field. So let's go inside the FX menu, and under the menu and particles we have create emitter. Let's create the emitter type with the directional and hit the option create. Now if I just little reposition the emitter, play the timeline. So this is the default behavior of the particles. Okay, so let's give some speed in the y positive axis. So increase the speed value to somewhere around 25, and let's add some randomness. And let's say we use the value of y positive and use a little spread, let's say 0.1. Alright, and let the particles still under the impact of the gravity. So with this we have a motion like this. Alright, and let's increase the rate of the particles also. Let's use a value of approx 1000, and let's do one thing. Let's increase the speed a little bit more. 50 is fine, I guess. And now if I play the timeline, we have something like this. Well, nice, not a problem. And let's do one thing. Let's also use the lifespan. Right now we have the live forever, so this will keep the particles move on and on without any die out. So let's make the particle die out somewhere around after 3 seconds, let's say, or maybe 2.5, with the variations of +1 and -1. Okay, now let's apply the vortex. Alright, so this is the basic structure, or you can say the basic things. Now let's also increase the timeline for a bit and select the particles, go inside the feed solver menu, hit the option vortex over here. Alright, now let's take a look inside the vortex attributes. We have the magnitude, we have the attenuations, and the most important thing is the specified line of an axis. So right now if I have to create an effect of a twister, which is something like this, then in that case I need to use the y positive directions. We can also use some other axis also, but this time we'll use the y positive. Let's get rid of the attenuations and use the magnitude somewhere around, let's say 15, or maybe let's say 20, and make sure that we don't have the use max distance enabled. And now let's play the timeline. So you can see in the top sections, if I take you in this way, you can see now the particles are simply rotating around the y-axis, because that's the specified line of an axis, and particles are now rotating somewhat like this. We can add some more interesting things inside the overall motion of the particles. I mean, we can take this shot to furthermore. Right now we can experiencing the effect of the vortex, which is very nice. Particles have now started rotated around that axis. And let's do one thing. Let's also do some interesting things. We can affect the overall behavior of the particles with the deformers, and yes, that is actually exist. For that we need to select the particles, go inside the modeling menu. Over here we have the deform. Let's use some non-linear deformers. So right now, according to the requirement of the scene, we use the option twist. Alright, so it has two interesting options, that is the start angle and the end angle. Let's also do one thing. Let's reposition this somewhere around in the midsection of this vortex field, and now start increasing the value of start angle. So drag this with the middle mouse and you'll see something nice is happening. Now the overall particle system is getting rotated. So we use the angle to approx 720, and to take down the important change of this twist, let's reposition this a little bit, and now you can see something nice is actually happening. Alright, we can also reposition this from the other axis also, and right now we have the start angle. Let me play the timeline once again, and you see now something nice is happening. At least we have some more interesting shape in the bottom section of this tornado. Select the twist deformer and move inside the input node and use the attribute end angle. Let's use the negative value, let's say -360, and now with this you have some really nice overall movement of the particles. So with this we can create some really nice effect. Let's do one thing. Let's also scale down this and this is now something very nice. So you can also add some more thrills, so you can add some more curls inside the overall motion of the particles. But in case if you don't want, you can still, scale this along the y-axis, depending upon your artistic decisions, how frequently you want the, more curls inside the overall, twister. So that is something very, very nice, and that's all about the vortex field. Now let's take a pause over here and we'll move to the next clip where we talk about the turbulence field.